Hello and welcome to day 7 of your 7-day yoga challenge. My name is Aelea and I am so excited that you're here with me on our final day. Today we're going to be flowing and putting together everything that we've learned so far, and we're going to incorporate some new shapes as well, some new balancing postures, some new twists, and we're going to be working through those same open and closed hip shapes. We'll be focusing on those transitions, acknowledging our breath as we move. We're going to have a great time together as we finish off this 7-day yoga challenge. So if you have blocks today, if you have just one, you can place it near the top of your mat. We'll use it later. If you have two, you can place your second one near the back of your mat. And if you don't have any blocks, that's okay. I will guide you through options with or without them. To get started, you're going to lay down on your back. This time, your head is going to be at the back of your mat, and your legs are going to extend out long towards the top of your mat. Let your toes flop open to the sides. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back to feel opening through the chest, and allow your palms to rest face up. Your eyes will close here, and we just start to notice our breath. There's no need to change your breath right now. Just notice how the breath very naturally moves the body as you inhale and as you exhale. As you inhale, noticing how the inhale makes the body lift, it finds that expansion. And as you exhale, your body softens down. Here you can begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales. And if you would like, even bringing in that Ujjayi breath that we worked on in our other class. So you would inhale this light constriction to the back of your throat. And exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. And at the end of your exhale, pull your belly button towards your spine. One last cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, we bend the knees. Plant the soles of the feet onto the earth for just a moment, and then exhale. Tuck knees in towards the chest. Hands can be on the shins. And give yourself a nice little rock from side to side here. Next, inhale, transition, bringing the hands to the backs of the thighs. And then we're going to start to rock and roll up our spine into seated or right into boat pose, depending on where you're at today. So take a few little rocks back and forth. There's no need to rush up, and then arrive either in boat pose or seated. So if you come to seated, bring your toes to the ground, still holding on to the backs of your thighs. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back, feel this lovely extension, and then start to lean back. Your toes might start to lift, or maybe you want to lift one leg at a time. And that's a great option, where you lift both feet, shins parallel with the ground, and then another option, reaching those fingertips forward. Core is engaged here. If you find you start to lift your legs and you feel your spine start to round, no big deal. Hands can come to the backs of the thighs to help support you so you feel nice and strong here. One more inhale, and then exhale, we cross at the ankles. We're going to try to hug those heels in nice and close to us. This you'll probably feel familiar kind of with the transitions that we worked. And then you're going to bring your feet to the ground. Roll over your shins if that's available to you, and then we make our way into tabletop at the middle of our mat. So adjust as you need. On our tabletop, taking 3 rounds of cat-cow, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Inhale, tailbone lifts, chest shines forward, look forward. Exhale, rounding the spine, press into the pads of the knuckles, the shins, the tops of the feet, look towards the belly button. 2 more like that. Inhale. Take the full inhale to move through the spine. And then take the full exhale to round the spine. Moving nice and slow like you're moving through jello. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, finding your neutral tabletop. Exhale, toes tuck under, lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here if you'd like. Really pressing into the pads of the knuckles so you feel this beautiful length through the whole back. And then trying to lift those hips up high, heels towards the ground. Next inhale, let's find some stillness. Feet are hip distance apart. Exhale, think of trying to get your hips up as high as you can. Next inhale, keeping the same length through the upper body, weight doesn't shift forward. We inhale, rise up high onto the balls of the feet. Feel free to bend the knees here if you need to, and then exhale, slowly lower the heels back towards the mat. Inhale, come up high on the balls of the feet, belly button towards the spine, and then exhale, slowly lower those heels back down. And last time, inhale, come up high on the balls of the feet, and then exhale, heels lower. Starting to flow already here today. Inhale, left leg lifts nice and high towards the sky, three-legged downward facing dog. And then exhale, we're high on the ball of that right foot, left knee to chest. And then plant that left foot down between the hands. Take those right toes out at that 45-degree angle, all on that exhale, setting up for warrior one. Inhale, reach those fingertips forward as we rise all the way on up, warrior one. Left hip thinks of tucking underneath the body. Next, exhale, interlace your fingers, and we're going to plant them on top of the left thigh, coming into a variation of warrior three. Inhale, we start taking our weight forward, coming onto the ball of the back foot. And maybe you leave it so that your big toe is touching the ground for today. That's a great option. Or you start to teeter-totter your weight forward, lifting up that back leg. Breathing here. Notice if you're arching your back, pull the belly button towards the spine, trying to find more of a tabletop style in the back. One last inhale. And then exhale, transition slowly, high lunge. So you start to let your right leg slowly meet the ground, ball of the back foot connects, and then arms reach up as you inhale. Exhale, we open up warrior two. Again, this transition we've worked before. Gaze stays forward, right heel connects to the ground, arms tee out at shoulder height. Beautiful job. Inhale, feel expansion. Really reach the arms out, reach the tailbone for the ground. And then exhale, right hand to hip. Inhale, reaching this left arm as far forward as you can. Start to reach your weight forward, and then exhale. This left hand either comes to your block, placed just in front of that left foot, or I'll demonstrate this side without the block. You can be on spidered fingertips. Coming into half moon, so a new balancing posture for you. Inhale, bend into that left knee, spring up, and you're stacking that right hip on top of left, really reaching that right leg for the sky. Flex through your right foot. Think of trying to reach the sole of the right foot for the wall behind you. Reach the crown of your head forward. And you can keep your gaze down on the ground for stability. One more inhale here. Exhale, transition back to warrior two. So we start bending into the standing leg. That right foot gets heavy, left arm reaches out, and right arm reaches out. Inhale, straighten through that front leg. Exhale, pivot on that left heel so your right toes point to the right side. So all of our pieces of ourselves pointing towards the right. Inhale, arms reach out for the sides, and exhale, find a forward fold. So a nice flat back, and then fingertips reach the ground. The weight of your head reaches for the ground. Inhale, we find a flat back, similar that we've done in our regular forward fold. And now exhale, walk your hands and all of your toes to face towards the back of the mat. So you're in a low lunge, facing towards the back of the mat. Your right foot is the one that's forward. Palms will plant on either side of that right foot. Left knee is lifted high. Inhale here. And then exhale, step right foot back to meet the left, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Great job. So now the back of the mat has become our front. We're going to do that same little flow to work our way all the way back to the front. Inhale, this time your right leg lifts nice and high towards the sky, three-legged down dog. Exhale, come up high on the ball of the left foot, right knee to chest, and we plant that foot in between the hands. Take those left toes out, 45-degree angle, planting the sole of the foot. And then inhale, we rise up, warrior one. Beautiful job. Exhale, interlace your fingers, palms rest on top of that right thigh. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward, lift that left heel off the ground, and maybe you start just the ball of the toe resting on the ground. Maybe you start to bring a little more weight forward. Find lift through that left leg. Now again, notice if you're arching your back, think of pulling the belly button towards the spine. Gaze is down at the ground in front of you. One more inhale, then exhale, high lunge. So start to bring the left toes to the ground, ball of the foot connects, and arms sweep up. Exhale, opening warrior two. So we start opening the body towards the side of the room, pinky edge side of your back foot parallel with the mat. Inhale, find extension through the arms, reach tailbone for the ground. Then exhale, left hand to hip. Inhale, reaching those right fingertips towards the back of the room. And again, hand can rest on the ground, or if you have a block, hand comes to the block, pinky edge side of your right foot. Inhale, we get lift off here. Left leg is lifting high towards the sky. Stacking left hip on top of right. The foot is flexed and it's really, really reaching for the front of the room. Inhale, you're looking down at the ground to help you balance. Exhale here. We'll do one final inhale, you've got this. And then exhale, warrior two. So bend into the standing leg. That back leg gets really heavy and then arms reach out as you inhale, warrior two. Exhale, we straighten through our front leg, our back leg here. Pivot on that right heel. All your toes are now pointing towards the right. We'll find that forward fold again. Inhale, arms reach out. Exhale, fold forward, nice flat back. Inhale, find your half lift. Fingertips can stay connected to the ground. And then exhale, we start walking our hands and all of our toes to face the front of the room. Beautiful job. Hands plant here. Take an inhale, lift your hips nice and high, and then exhale, left foot steps back to meet the right. We're gonna move through our little vinyasa sequence. Inhale, knees lower, chest shines forward. Exhale, elbows nice and close to the body as you lower all the way down. Inhale, untuck the toes. Chest lifts off the ground, forehead lifts, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead lowers, toes tuck under. Press hips up and back, downward facing dog. Great job. Inhale here. Exhale, feel heavy in the heels. One more inhale. And then exhale, we bring the knees to the ground. Big toes come together. Sink hips to heels for a nice child's pose. Press into the hands for an active child's pose. So forearms are lifted off the mat. Exhale. Next inhale, we press into the palms. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. And then we bring the forehead back down to the ground. Really press into the palms like you're trying to press the floor forward and away. And allow that to help your left sit bone stay connected to the heel so you feel the stretch through the whole left side of the body. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift the forehead off the ground. Exhale, walk your hands through center and then all the way over to the left. Forehead connects back down to the ground. Inhale, we press into the palms like you're trying to press the floor forward and away. And exhale, that allows that right hip to stay connected to the heel. Feel the stretch through the whole right side of the body. We'll take one more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, forehead lifts. Exhale, walking the hands back forward. And then from here, we're just going to press into the palms, shift through table, and then find our way all the way to seated, holding on to the backs of the thighs. And then we roll ourselves down to the ground, knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice little rock from side to side. Next, inhale, allow the soles of the feet to connect to the ground, hip distance apart. Exhale, arms rest nice and close to the body, palms face down, coming into bridge pose. So in our bridge pose, we want to think of keeping the knees pointing upwards towards the sky. So we don't want them to open up towards the sides of the room. And then we want to think of keeping our head and shoulders connected to the ground as well. So inhale, tuck your tailbone towards your knees. Feel your rib cage and your low belly press against the ground. Exhale, press into the soles of the feet and slowly start to roll up the spine into your bridge pose. So notice here, if your knees are starting to open out to the sides, try to keep them nice and even with the hips reaching for the ceiling. Rib cage is tucking towards the back body. One more inhale, and then exhale. We slowly lower our spine all the way back down to the ground. Next, inhale, right knee comes in towards the body, flex the right foot. And then exhale, cross right ankle over top of left thigh for figure 4. Stay here if you're already feeling an opening through the right IT band into the glute, or start bending that left knee in towards the body. Stay here, hands connected to the mat, or thread that right hand in between the gap in your thighs. Interlace your fingers on the back of the left thigh or on top of the left shin, your choice. Here, just for one cycle of breath, an inhale and an exhale. Next, inhale, we release the hands, and then exhale, bring the sole of the left foot back down to the ground. As you inhale, cross the right leg over like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. And then exhale, take the arms out at shoulder height, palms can face up, and allow your knees to fall over to the left. So coming into just a gentle twist here. Your knees probably won't connect to the ground, that's great. Your feet are connected and they're helping you stay nice and rooted. Both of your shoulder blades are connected to the ground. And you can stay with your gaze towards the ceiling, or you can look over top of your right shoulder. Here for one more cycle of breath, so a full inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring your gaze back up through center. Think of squeezing the inner thighs to bring the knees back up. Uncross the legs. Find your feet hip distance apart. Switching sides. Now inhale, left knee in towards the body, flex the left foot. And then exhale, cross left ankle over top of right thigh, figure 4. Stay here, or start bringing that right knee in towards the body. You can keep your arms out at shoulder height, or you thread that left arm in between the gap of your thighs, interlace your fingers on the back of the right thigh or right shin. Head and shoulders stay connected to the ground. Here for one cycle of breath. Next, inhale. We start by releasing the arms. You can take them out at that shoulder height. And then bring the sole of that right foot down to the ground as you exhale. Inhale, crossing that left leg right over the right like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. And then allow the knees on your exhale to fall towards the right. This is just a gentle twist here. No need to really try to force the body to get anywhere. Working that left shoulder blade still connected to the ground and gaze up, or you can turn to look over your left shoulder. Here for a cycle of breath, a big nourishing inhale. And a lovely restful exhale. Inhale, gaze comes back up through center. Think of squeezing the inner thighs together to bring the knees back up. And then exhale, Uncross your legs. Inhale, one final tuck of the knees in towards the chest, like giving yourself a little hug. Then if you'd like, you can also use the core to roll your nose or your forehead all the way up to your knees. Make yourself into this tiny little ball. And then as you exhale, we find our final rest. Legs extend out nice and long. Palms can rest face up on the ground. Tuck your shoulder blades onto your back to find opening through the chest. Eyes closed here. And again, right away, see if you can soften, get really heavy, really relaxed as quickly as possible. Unclenching your jaw, feeling heavy, like everything's just melting into the ground. No need to control your breath anymore. And as you're here, just take a moment to consider the past 7 times that we've met on the mat, this 7-day challenge. What has it been like for you? Do you feel like you have a more well-rounded understanding of the asana practice, this practice of making shapes on our mat? Has this practice made you curious about more of yoga? Do you want to look into pranayama and breath work, meditation, how you treat yourself, how you treat others, all these pieces of yoga that make it more than just the shapes, but make it more of a philosophy and a lifestyle? Just take a little inventory on how your experience these past 7 days has been. Next inhale, we gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Exhale, maybe making circles with the wrists and the ankles. Inhale, reach the arms up above the head, really point through the toes. And then exhale, roll yourself onto your left or right side, your choice, and then bring yourself up through seated. When you arrive at seated, bring your palms together to prayer. Thumbs rest against your breastbone, gently tuck your chin to your chest. Turn the corners of your mouth up towards your ears, giving yourself a little smile of gratitude for a completed challenge, a job well done. Inhale and exhale. You can gently flutter your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me for your 7th day of your 7-day challenge. It was such an honor to guide you through this practice and introduce you more to asana, the practice of the shapes we make on the mat. I hope that this has sparked your curiosity and that if you're interested, you do more of the yoga available in GFIT and even some of your own research to look into more of the other aspects of yoga aside from movement, breathwork, and meditation. To close, if you do have a little bit of extra time, definitely check out the meditations we have available, and I hope I get to practice with you again soon.